Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am, and today I'm going to be reviewing these two Marvel Legends Deluxe figures. We have Falcon and Captain America from Captain America Brave New World. Yeah, these came out a while ago, but better late than never, right? I've had these for a little bit. I had Red Hulk even longer, but he's already reviewed and on the channel, so if you want to go check that out, you are more than welcome to. But today we're going to be taking a look at these two figures together in one review. And you know what? Let's start out with Falcon. Alright, taking a closer look at Falcon, aka Joaquin. This is a pretty good translation of his suit into action figure form. I like how it references a lot of the colors from the comic version of his costume, with the kind of brown tan to the greens. And yeah, if you thought, the movies were weird and strange, keep in mind that this guy in the comics is a man that gets injected with vampire Falcon DNA and becomes a actual Falcon man. It's weird and crazy comics for you. But he's got all kinds of different suit details. It's very common for MCU stuff. You've got these greens that match, but these, more normal greens don't match. Got the silver gauntlets, like I said, brown pants, and coming down here. All kinds of little details I'll just let you pour over and get the backpack. We'll come back to that here in a second. And you got the helmet, all the tubes, and then the visor. I think the likeness is pretty good to the actor. I've only really seen him in the MCU stuff. I haven't seen him in anything else. I know he has been in other things, but, Falcon and the Winter Soldier show and this movie are my first exposures to him. You can see the hands got a little bit of red detailing. Let's go ahead and go over accessories because there's a lot to actually go over. So as you can see, he has a set of fists, and then a set of kind of not wide open, but kind of open grip hands. You can grip some things with this. I will get into that here in a second. And then we have a Red Wing that we have seen before, I think with the Civil War Falcon figure. It's an okay mold. It's painted decently, but there's no real way to display it or attach it to him other than putting it in the grip hands. So there's nothing really to do with him. And then we have this masked head sculpt, which just is covering up the nose and mouth, so in the movie he could breathe at the higher altitudes, which is cool. I like that they included both heads for him, and it still looks like the same guy underneath the visor. But for the next accessories, we gotta go back to the backpack, and as you can see, it has actually details where Red Wing would be stored when he's not deployed, but you can remove the backpack, pretty simple, not a lot of details underneath or inside the backpack itself. But then you can bring in his wings, and these look pretty good. It's got the same backpack detailing, but it actually has the mechanics to operate the wings on his back. So just plug them in like so, and boom, he is ready to fly. And these are pretty sweet. It does have our articulation going up that high, can go down quite a bit. It's got a bend there and a bend here. I don't love how that bends. It just doesn't look quite natural when you get to a certain point. But here's where the kind of wide open hands, grip hands come into play. You can angle them like so, and then I have had these flattened, so it might take some doing, or might take less doing on another copy. But you just kind of slide that little handle into the hand, and then, yeah, now he's guiding his flying, which is pretty sick. So, yeah. Let's actually remove this and the backpack, and we'll put the other one on, and then we'll go over the articulation, like so. So, the head is on a ball and hinge, and he can look up that high. He can look down, not a ton. The little chest detail here, that little lip, kind of gets in the way. Can look side to side, of course, and barely any head pivoting. Shoulders go up that high. Full rotation, biceps swivel, double jointed elbows. He's got an elbow pad, elbow pad right there, glued onto it. And then all the hands hinge down and up. Of course, they aren't going to go too far with the kind of bracer here reaching over. He does have an ab crunch, forward and back. So he does have waist swivel, which the belt can actually get out of the way of. As you can see, it's kind of a floating piece. And then kicks forward pretty high. He's got a swivel there, kicks out pretty decently, and then he's got double jointed pinless knees, cannot kick his own butt, no boot cut, ankles go down, they do go up, and he does have angle pivot. So what are my final thoughts on Falcon? Honestly, I don't have a lot to say. Like, I don't have very many nitpicks. My biggest gripe is with the wings. That last bend on the wings just doesn't quite look as natural when trying to get him into flying poses. So that's really my biggest issue with the figure. I could sit here and complain about Red Wing, but it's something that's come up before. I'm not really going to display this Red Wing anyway. I have something else I need to talk about with the Captain America figure, but for Falcon, I'm not going to display Red Wing. I do like the likeness on the figure. All the paint detail looks good. All the different colors look very accurate to the costume itself. Like I said, I don't have a lot of complaints. Maybe an unhelmeted, unmasked head, whatever you want to call it, would have been a great inclusion, but I'm okay without it. Like, I didn't have any issues with, taking a photo when I didn't have one. So really, I'm pretty satisfied. It's just that last bend of the wing. That's the biggest detractor for this figure for me. Does he have the fun factor? Oh yeah. It's going to come up with Captain America, but I had a lot of fun with these guys. The wings and just the different accessories really add to the playability of the figures, and just overall they look cool. I had a good time with this movie. Usually when I have a good time with the movies, I'm more inspired to take photos, so yeah, that just adds to it. What am I going to give her a final rating? I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. It is a good figure. If you can get him on sale, it's a steal. I know a lot of people did. In fact, I think I even did. I think I may have paid about 20, maybe less. I can't remember. It just happened to be on Walmart for a really good deal, and I happened to get him. So I lucked out on that. If you're able to get a sale on him, it's an excellent pickup. If you get him at the full price, I don't think you're getting a bad deal, but maybe it's not quite as engaging. I don't know. Try to get a sale, but even if you don't, it's not the worst thing in the world if you have to pay full price for this guy. All right, moving on to Captain America. Not gonna lie, when the figures and the movie were announced and we saw this brand new costume, I was severely disappointed. I love the white costume. I love how comic accurate it is. So when we didn't continue to see that throughout the movie, it was kind of disappointing until I actually saw the movie, and I kind of forgot about it and still enjoyed this costume. I do hope he goes back to the white costume, though. Just maybe with some of the details that this costume has, like less of a cowl and all that. So I will say right here that parts of this figure are going to be upgrading my white suit Captain America, because while, yes, I do like this figure and this look, I will be displaying the white suit on my main display, and there are parts of this that I will use to upgrade that one as opposed to have this one be the main suit. So aside from that, I think the likeness is excellent. I like how the goggles still allow for the likeness to shine through with the eyes and all that. It's a really good Anthony Mackie likeness, if I can talk. A little splotchy here at the abdomen, but otherwise looking okay. Down to the legs. Pinless. I don't remember if any of this is really reused from the white suit. If it is, I think it's only the boots, but even then I can't say 100% for sure. Coming to the back here, it's the same backpack, I believe. No, it's actually a different backpack. I forgot about that because it doesn't have an attachment that we'll talk about later. You can see it's just like Falcon, where it's kind of hollow on the inside. Coming down here, you got the gauntlets, the gloved hands. He's pinless, both on the elbows and the knees, so he looks pretty solid there and feels very solid. So yeah, I think that's it in terms of just going over the suit. Let's go over the accessories. So he has a set of fisted hands, and then he has a set of more relaxed or gesturing hands. This one's specifically more for the shield. And I do remember these hands, I think, are reused from the other costume because these are the exact same hands that suit came with as well. And then just like Falcon, he does come with a masthead and a red wing. Now his red wing is the same mold from the previous costume. And you can see the ball port or where it ports in that suit had for the backpack. So it had like a little flight effect that could just be like right here and hovering. So I liked that suit had it. The fact that this one doesn't, kind of disappointing. But then you have this helmeted head, which is pretty solid. This is what I will be putting on this costume in my MCU Overflow display, where I just kind of have the other costumes from the movies together. So I like that a lot. And then, of course, we have the shield, which is the same. I think, the same mold that we got before, but this one has a little bit better paint, a little better colors in terms of the silver. I think actually the silver's painted on this, which is an improvement. The red's painted. I think previously the silver was just the plastic color, and it looked a little cheaper than this does, so it just overall doesn't look the greatest. This is another upgrade that I will be adding to the previous costume. And then for the last set of accessories, of course, spinning around to the back, let's remove the backpack, which actually that hole there, you can port the shield onto for when he's flying and not wielding it. And then you come over here and bring in his new wings. And yes, they are new wings from the old suit, because that one was a Build-A-Figure and didn't have this extra joint piece here, I believe, or one of these two is an added piece. But yeah, going over these articulation, or these wings articulation, they can go up that high, you can go down that far. It's got a bend here, a bend here, and a bend here, which looks a lot more natural when you are actually posing him around, and you can see all the nice silver and other colors, the red, the blue, throughout this set of wings. You go to the back, it's all continued. I guess I didn't go over the back of Falcon's wings, but his are pretty detailed on both for the front and the back, so you can see all that. And just to demonstrate the shield being ported on, it just goes like so, and it just stays on when flying. So that is pretty dope. But with all that out of the way, let's take this off. And let's just go over the articulation without the backpack. So the head can look up, without popping it off, it can look up that high. It's on a ball and hinge. It can look down a little bit, not quite as good as I would like. Can turn to side, and no real pivoting. Shoulders can go up that high, full rotation here. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, and then all the hands hinge down and up. And then he's got an ab crunch, looks pretty good. Back a little bit, not quite as much as I'd like. He's got a waist swivel, belt gets out of the way. Legs can kick out that far, they can kick up. He has a thigh swivel, and he's got double jointed pinless knees, and also cannot kick his own butt. No boot swivel, but the ankles do go down. They do go up a little bit. They don't really go up a ton. And I'll actually, okay, there. I was able to get a little bit more range there. But then he does have angle pivot. So what are my final thoughts on this Sam Wilson Captain America figure? Well, despite me not liking the costume nearly as much, but growing on it, I do really like this figure. It was very fun, very dynamic, lots of great accessories. If you don't have the unmasked Sam head, it will feel like it's missing here. Just, I included it for a shot or two, I think. But if you do have the previous one, I mean, it's a nice inclusion. Maybe it could have been included here just because it's already an existing sculpt. But, you know, it is what it is. I think you still get a lot of variety with this figure. The Red Wing inclusion, but no real way to actually display it, is, again, disappointing, like with Falcon, because, well, in this case, I would actually display the Red Wing, because I think I have it displayed with my other Captain America. The likeness is great. The helmet is great. I like the hand inclusions. I don't really feel like I'm missing any. I like the upgrades to the shield and the wings with the paint and the articulation. Overall, it is just a great upgrade and package. It's just not the costume that I prefer. And I don't think that's a fault of the figure. That's more just my personal preference. So, while yes, I do really like this figure, it's mainly going to be upgrading my other Captain America, and then this one will still be on display, but it's not my ideal costume. Does he have the fun factor? Yes, absolutely. It is a great figure. I had a lot of fun, especially when I was posing him with the Red Hulk and alongside Falcon. I like Captain America Brave New World. I really do, and I really like Anthony Mackie as Sam as Cap. It is a great choice. I love that they've done it. Initially, I was always bummed that Bucky didn't get the shield, but I've moved on from that, and I really like Sam in this role. So bringing this to life in action figure form was a lot of fun. To give it a final rating, I really want to give him a high rating, but the fact that I don't want to keep everything that he comes with him makes me feel like I should give him a low rating. But I'm going to go with an 8.5 out of 10. It is a great offering. I still think if you pay the full deluxe price, it's worth it. If you can get it on sale, even better. Just on its own. The fact that I'm upgrading it they're using it to upgrade another figure shouldn't detract from the fact that this is still a solid Captain America figure, especially if you like Sam Wilson Captain America. Alright, and that was my review of these two Captain America Brave New World Deluxe figures. We have Captain America and the Falcon. Let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments below. I really like them. I really like the movie. I think I've said that a few times by now. I'm still loving the MCU, and I think these are two great figures to continue on with the line. So, yeah, like I said, let me know down in the comments below. Did you pick these up? Do you like them? And while you're down there, make sure you are liking the video. Make sure you are subscribing, and I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.